Hello, my name is Vyas. I'm an Associate Professor at the College of Asia-Pacific Studies in APU. I teach international relations and politics and political economy here. We're all part of the globalized world now, and whether we are aware of it or not, or like it or not, we are connected to other countries and cultures. I always tell students that if they're going to the supermarket and they suddenly find there are lots of bananas from the Philippines, then what does that make them think about the international relations between Japan and the Philippines? Maybe there's some cooperation going on. And so it affects everything in our lives. In the news media, we usually see more information about conflicts and wars, unfortunately, protests and that kind of thing. But actually, the cooperation side is much more important in many ways because of the money issues, trade, for example, and the fact that countries are talking to each other and agreeing on international rules is actually much more important for today's world than what you see in the media.
IR, international relations, is a very wide subject. Within international relations, not only are you learning about domestic and international politics, you also kind of have to learn things like about the environment and how countries develop. There's also economics. Of course, you would have to learn language as well because it's international relations. And you learn a little bit about law. There's a little bit about even like culture and media that ends up playing into international relations.
Because it gives you an analytical viewpoint on the world, I think the skills you gain in IR and politics are valued in any kind of job, basically.
Although I think this might take a while, I eventually do want to go into working for humanitarian aid, I think. I would like to work on the ground with the people, communicating and helping coordinate between the locals and the organization helping, yeah.
My future goal, my personal goal is I really wanted to, if I can, make it to a diplomat. So I really wanted to be at that level where I can be a diplomat.
Right now I'm trying to strike a position in NGO Peace Boat. They're advocating for SDGs and they have a really strong stance against nuclear weapons. So I'm thinking of supporting them there. But in the long term, in maybe the next 20, 30, 40 years, I'm trying to strike a position at the UNHCR or the UNHRC. And I feel like in those two UN agencies, I can really make a change.
Well, it's an interesting comparison. So, of course, we have many different countries, students represented and so on. But students are not representing their countries. They are individuals, and we impress this on them, I think. It's important to remember that everyone's individual. So at APU, I think you'll get a much more real perspective on what real people think. At the UN, it's all politicians and diplomats who have a certain perspective and way of doing things. But at APU, it's more kind of normal people, and we can understand how normal people think in that way.
I've been joining many extracurricular activities offered by APU, such as the Ritsumikan MUN, the Model United Nations, and then other things such as the ASEM Youth Summit. So many things are being offered by APU that I'm just trying to join as much as I can, trying to build up my skills. And I feel like it's really an effective way of really harnessing the skills.
Part of the, I think, culture at APU and what we teach students is that this is a kind of a neutral zone. Students have academic freedom. They can talk about whatever they want, even political issues. And we try to encourage students to understand that they can talk about anything, but they must respect their peers and respectfully understand and listen and try to understand other people's perspectives, and then go on to discuss the problems and maybe try to think of ways forward and even solutions sometimes. So I think that open atmosphere at APU helps students to get the new perspectives and try to find new ways forward.